Okay, so I haven't posted a video in a while because I was having audio problems that hopefully I will not have today. So I I'll tell a little bit of backstory on my experience with the whole like barefoot revolution. When I was in high school, I used to wander around barefoot all the time, but of course you're young and you can kind of do whatever you want. I was a runner in high school. I was a runner on and off in college. And then, right about when I got out of college, like a little bit after the recession, the Vibram Five Fingers became like a trendy thing. And at that time, I was submitting to races, and Vibram Five Fingers were like really popular. You could buy them in stores. You can buy them relatively cheap. I think I got my first pair for like $55, like on sale for like $55. Of course, that was maybe 14, 15 years ago. Um, and at the time, those were like barely anything, anyways. So I was running 12 miles, sometimes 14 miles. And when you looked it up, they did say you're supposed to like ease your way into it. And when I bought those then, I'm pretty sure that I did. I did walk around in them. I'll maybe walk a mile or two here. But I didn't think about it too much. Like I was already running 12 miles, 14 miles. Just I have the 2 mile loop and I would just go around and around. And then I switched to Vibram Five Fingers. I ran 12 miles, 14 miles, and then I would stop and I would walk like 6 miles on top of that. And I had no problems. I didn't have any problems with injuries. Like people talk about, oh, runners have injuries. If you do this, it'll prevent injuries. I was in my late 20s. I didn't know what they were talking about. Like I just ran. I didn't stretch a whole lot either. Like I did a little bit of stretching, a little bit of walking beforehand. I never had any problems. These injuries that they were talking about, they just did not make sense to me. But I like the idea of the Vibram Five Fingers. There was a book that was kind of popular at the time that was sort of went alongside with it called Born to Run. So I read that book and just the whole barefoot thing, it just made sense to me. I never thought that the shoes were like stylish and like cool and trendy in that way. They really just, that made sense to me that you're building up your muscles. And the fact that like shoe companies over time just added more and more padding. And I can see how that just kind of like throws off, how your muscles are developing. So I got into the whole Vibram thing. And like I said, at the time, those Vibram Five Fingers, they were barely putting anything on. It was almost like, what are you even doing? And I remember I went to some races. I mean, I think it was like a 5 mile race. There were people that literally just didn't wear shoes at all. It was like it was a super popular thing 13, 14, 15 years ago. But the craze sort of died out and I sort of took a break from running and I went more into lifting weights. Didn't really have a whole lot of time to run. But my head was still stuck in, you're supposed to have Vibram, it's still like the best thing to do. But as I stopped running, my muscles, like, I guess some people are like, oh, you're getting older. I mean, at this point, I was in my early 30s. I was like, I'm not really getting older. But little things did start to creep up. I think what happened is over time, my whole right side of my body is just stronger than my left side of my body. And so once I tried to get back into running, my left side couldn't keep up, and I just sort of started feeling it like right in my knee. And it was just this problem. I kept looking up like knee pain. Google's kind of hard to getting the right answer. I even went to a doctor and talked to him about it, and he was like, just do some exercises. And I had to pay $500. It's kind of annoying. But I think I figured out like you really just kind of have to start slow, and I'm just dying to get back into that 12 mile, 14 mile run. And even at the time when I was running that long, I could have gone longer. It's just that 2+ hours have passed. It's like I'm running out of time. But I could just run forever. I remember there would be like trees falling over in the middle of my path, and I would just keep running. I would just hop onto the tree, hop over, and move and get out of the way. I got crazy looks from people. There's a handful of things I do that I get crazy looks for, but you kind of expect that. But I mean, there's some people. I remember I did a half marathon. I mean, there's people that look at you like with a really uncomfortable look on your face, like you are just a total idiot. Maybe a part of them is jealous. I don't know. But they would say things like, "Oh yeah, but you can't do that in like a full marathon." I'd be like, "That's the idea for next year." At least according to the Born to Run book, there are people that did ultra marathons and Ironmans and stuff with these shoes, which is kind of crazy to think that people can do those with any kind of shoes, to be honest with you. But I could never get to that point of running to 12 to 14 miles again. I would run 5 miles, 6 miles, 8 miles is like a strong run. But several months ago, like maybe 8 months ago, I think, I was ready to buy a new pair of shoes. I wanted to get back into running. My old Vibrams were too worn out. I tried to work my way. I would do 3 miles, 4 miles, and it still got to the point where those Vibrams just wore out just doing short runs. I was hoping I had built myself back up. Need to get a new pair of shoes. This Peluva brand did keep popping up on my social media. And it's gotten to where stuff that's on social media tends to be better than stuff that you see in stores. That's just how it is. You have everything ordered now. But they were just so expensive. Like Peluvas were $140. So I think that's what I needed to have done. I was sitting at one of my jobs. At the time I was working like 7 jobs, ready to order the Peluvas. And then I was like, let me just see what Vibram has. And the Vibrams now are not as thin as they used to be. Like the craze has long been over. I think I don't know if they've had lawsuits. I don't know anything about that. But they must have had complaints that this is not working out for them. Because the idea is you've got to build the muscles up. And if you're running, it's just so easy to go too far or do too much, especially if you're older and your muscles are kind of gotten out of whack anyways. So maybe people had problems with them, and so even normal Vibrams now have more padding than they used to. But I looked up the Peluvas, which looked pretty cool, were $140, and then the Vibrams were $120 and on sale for $75. So at that point, I was just like, I just got to get the Vibrams again. And so I got the Vibrams, and I went on one run, and the run was going well. Nothing was hurting. I was getting into it, and I went like 8 miles on the run, and then I think I walked 2. And nothing was all that big of a deal. But my heel kind of did hurt. It wasn't really too alarming, but it's like it hurt the next day and the next day, like low key kind of hurt. And like I said, I had 7 jobs. So I was working one job where I had to wear steel-toed boots, and I was like offloading pallets and down stacking like heavy things off of pallets and walking on concrete all day. And they were like old steel-toed boots too. So I woke up early. I would wake up early, like 5:30 in the morning, go to that job, walk on that concrete floor with those steel-toed boots, and then I would clock out of that job, and then I would go to a bartending job where I had to wear like skid-safe kitchen bartending shoes, and then I would do that from like 6 p.m. until 10:30, 11, sometimes midnight, then wake up, do do the retail job, offloading pallets. Then I might do the retail job, have a few days off, and then the weekend I would do the retail job early. Um, then I would go do like catering weddings and charity events and stuff like that where I had to wear the bartending shoes, and I'm walking around again and again. And so my feet just never really had time to heal. And so it's like I kept waiting for that feeling in my heel to for the muscles to repair, and I just didn't like. At some point, it was like months have gone by, and it still hasn't gotten better. And so that's when I start looking online. I start asking people, the answer that I usually got was plantar fasciitis. I don't think that's what it is, because a key symptom of plantar fasciitis is that you wake up with your heel hurting. That's not the case with me. I asked, the best answer I got was from ChatGPT, and I forget exactly what the term for it was. But I think essentially I just have worn out muscles that are just not having a chance to repair. And it's been like 8 months now, and they're a little better, but they're still not at 100%, and I haven't been able to go on another run. And so it's this complicated thing of you want to wear these barefoot type shoes to build up your muscles, but you just can't go too far because then you'll screw your muscles up. It's like kind of complicated. But maybe if when I had done that run, A, if I hadn't have gone quite as far, B, if I didn't have all those other jobs jacking up my foot, but also C, maybe if I had just spent the extra money and gotten the Peluvas in the first place, which I actually think Peluvas look a lot better than the Vibrams. They still have toes on them, like little toe glove type things. So people are going to look at you crazy no matter what. But they're like more of a solid color. The material around them is just more attractive, I think. But the key component to Peluvas is there's just more padding. So it's more. It's like it builds up those muscles. It doesn't build up the muscles quite as much, but it's like stepping it down a level, I guess, where you're still building up muscles, but you're not being as hard on them as with the Vibrams. Certainly not with the Vibrams from years past. Maybe Vibram sells those thinner ones still. I'm not super sure. But I still have not been able, but my heel has gotten a little bit better. I've gone to massages. I have a massage gun. I've pounded at it. One thing that's really helped is this like little spiky ball. One person told me to get like a splint for my foot. That didn't do, and I didn't understand that at all. But it came this like little spiky ball. Really grooved in and massaged my foot really well. Experiences are with like running injuries or building up muscles for running. Other runners, and they're like, no, normal shoes. But there's even like a scale on normal shoes of like this whole thing with Hoka shoes and like super padded shoes. So even when I had the knee problem, I went to this like special Fleet Feet, this special store for people that have shoe problems, and like they suggest these extra padded shoes. And those just seem so silly to me, so I really didn't want those. I did end up having to get some just like regular walking shoes with extra pad, and I got Dr. Scholl's insoles. And when I got those, my foot was just like, ah. And fortunately, my job situation is at a point where I've quit some of those other jobs and I've gotten new ones, and I've changed location. And I've been able to. Somebody just knocked on the door. But I've been able to. Okay, somebody kept knocking on the door. I'll get to that in just a second. So, yeah, anyways, so I've gotten to a point. There's this like issue of you need your foot to heal, and you need to build up the muscles in your foot at the same time. So it's like you You need to work your muscles only to the right amount, and you need to have your muscles heal a good amount as well. And so it's like kind of complicated, and it's kind of hard to explain things with nuance. It's like so hard to get nuance over to people. So I'm looking at these Peluvas now. I finally ordered a pair of Peluvas, and I actually ordered these Peluva slip-ons already, because even though my foot is starting to get better, I don't want my foot to get weak. I don't want to be like stuck on these types of shoes to where my foot is just getting weaker and weaker, to where I can have these problems faster again. I want to slowly build up the muscles as well. So yeah, I got these slip-on Peluvas, which I already think look pretty good. They kind of freak people out a little bit. But I do have one problem with these, is that like I got them for the purpose of slip-on. These like the Peluva slip-ons. They do not slip on. Like if you need to slip on, slip off, slip on, slip off, like I have to do some mornings, like you have to slip them on, work each toe in. It's like a little bit of a headache, but I'm dealing with it. So yeah, anyways, there probably even needs to be some Peluva type shoes that are like a step higher than this. Maybe Peluva could make some that are a step below. It's like you need different levels, and you have to choose your level. So yeah, anyways, let's open up the Peluvas. All right, looks like these came in like a little bit nicer of a box. So these are like the Peluva lightweight trainers. All right, here we go. Ordering shoes online is so finicky. Oh, those look kind of cool. See, these do look so much better than the Vibrams. I ordered 10.5 on the other one, so I ordered 10.5 on these. When I first put the other ones on, I thought they were too big, but over time I kind of realized, yeah, they're okay. All the material on these is so cool. They look kind of big. Hopefully I won't have to return them. So I don't know what my plan is. My heel is not repaired all the way, so I cannot run yet. Hopefully I'll be able to run soon. I really can't even walk in these too much. I want to do it a little bit. I think maybe I'll just go to the gym with these. Maybe I'll get to the point where I can walk a mile. I'm not sure. I just wanted to go ahead and get them because these are actually on sale for less than $100 right now, and I got like an extra $15 off as well. So yeah, let me try on and see if these fit. Hopefully these fit. Offhand, I'd say they fit pretty well. All right. Significantly different from the slip-ons too, because I ordered white on both of them. These could almost blend in with normal shoes, way more than the Vibram 5 Fingers do. And I saw one girl at Trader Joe's just walking around in these, and they let her do it, so I don't think any of my jobs will let me wear these. They might be a little small, actually. I don't know. Dang, these are too small. I've got to return these. So I was 10 and a half. It almost seemed big on those. These are definitely too small. My big toes are popping out. So I've got to return them, and then hopefully I can get more with the sale. But I do really like this material. Yeah, US 10.5s. You walk around them a little bit more. They are too small. I've got to return these. On their website, they have these this little shoe guide thing where you use a video or a picture or something. They told me size 9. That thing is way off. I'm gonna have to get a size 11. Jeez. Okay, I do like the way they look. I'm gonna have to return them and get a better size. Oh well. So another little thing that I think is funny about these is the guy that's making these Peluvas obviously really hopes that they take off, because they are better in the sense that those do look like something that you could wear out and it not be too crazy, or at least much less crazy than Vibram 5 Fingers. Vibram 5 Fingers, I used to see people wear them, certainly at the gym sometimes. I think I still see them at the gym sometimes. But you're a little bit that looks kind of weird. These almost blend in a little bit, although if you go on the site, not only do they have these slip-ons, they have these trainers, which the guy that made this company is not trying to get you to be a runner. He used to be a long distance runner. Now he is just a walker, and he wrote a book playing off of the former book that was for Vibrams, or that kind of promoted Vibram's Born to Run. He's got a new book called Born to Walk. I've not read that. So he just wants you to buy the shoes and be a walker. And I think there is actually something to that, to where walking is in reality, it just is good for you, it just takes longer. I like to run. I really want to be able to get back into running. But it's so crazy on his website. He has these slip-ons, he has these training shoes. He's got one other that are I think a little bit more padding. I think he has his regular walking around shoes, even though these are considered trainers. But he literally has toe shoes on his website for sale. They're $200 for wearing with a suit. That is so crazy. I am very curious to know how many of those have sold. They never go on sale, at least that I've seen. I've never seen them have any sales until right now. But he has these suit toe shoes, and he has hiking boots as well. So it's hiking toe boots. That would look, props to whoever will buy those and wear toe shoes to a wedding or to a business event, and or to defend somebody as a lawyer. Maybe one day. If this guy really thinks anybody is going to buy those, I don't know. These seem to be a good idea. Toe shoes with a suit, maybe one day. I don't know. The craze is kind of over, and I don't really see it coming back. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I'll have to return these, and maybe I'll have maybe I can do another video of using them a little bit. Know what your experience with barefoot shoes is, walking around barefoot, Vibrams, Peluvas, or if there's any other brands that I've never heard of. There's lots of barefoot shoe brands, but these are toe specific, and this guy really is big on moving your toes is very important. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.